Hello fellow crafters, welcome to a new crochet kit review video. It's actually number 1. So if you stumbled across this, hello and welcome to my new series. So today I ended up acquiring the Aldi home collection crochet kit of a snowman. Now, if you're seeing this video and you're a little bit confused by what it says on the box, I actually live in Belgium, so this is actually in Dutch of what's on the box, but the kits are universal across the world as far as I'm aware of, so you can pick these up in any Aldi, as long as they're in stock. But looking inside the kit, you get the stuffings, the instructions, and all of the yarn that you're going to need for your project. It also gives you a crochet hook and a tapestry needle so you can sew everything together. So far, if I say so a couple more times, everything looks really great for this kit. Now this is actually going to be the first time I'm going to be doing a crochet pattern that is in Dutch for me. Normally I do everything that's either in US or UK terms, so this is definitely something new. It also came with in this kit of a little patch with a button. I'm assuming that's to sew it on to the project after you're done, so you end up adding a little bit more flair. Now if you are acquiring this kit while you are in Belgium, you're going to find the instructions written in Belgian French, Belgian Dutch, and Belgian German because those are the 3 languages here. But pretty much it gives you a picture of what the project looks like, how the stitches should be done. Pretty straightforward actually, with a lot of helpful information. Now the only thing I noticed that this kit does not actually come with is a stitch marker, so you are going to end up needing a stitch marker and some scissors for this project, but overall that's not too hard to end up acquiring. You know, what I end up using for a stitch marker is I actually just use some extra yarn from another project and I weave that in and out with my stitches. So for this project I'm just going to use this blue string that I had laying around, and that's going to be my stitch marker. Now for a personal preference, I'm actually going to be using my own crochet hook because mine comes with a rubber end on the end of it, to where the one that comes in the kit is just metal or aluminum, I'm assuming. And the only reason that I am doing that with my own crochet hook is because I don't like how it feels on my skin. I know that sounds really weird, but I really just don't like using anything that doesn't have like a rubber hook on it. Now you do have an option for the eyes. You are going to end up crocheting those and whatnot, and the buttons, but I have some safety eyes that I'm actually going to end up using for this because I have a whole bunch of really small safety eyes, but you don't have to. Again, the kit comes with everything that you are going to need. At least that's what I assumed was going to happen. So we're just going to take a gander at following the instructions, making the head. Everything actually was really straightforward instruction wise. And I did end up with a little bit of yarn barf that I ended up having to deal with, but that's no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this project. Now this is definitely sped up. I do not crochet this fast. But one thing that I feel that I want to mention with the yarn that comes into this kit, it feels pretty sturdy, pretty smooth on the skin. Again, I'm kind of more of a texture styled crocheter, to where, you know, sometimes you end up with yarn that, as you know, it slides across your hands as you crochet. You're just like, oh, I don't like the way that feels. This yarn feels pretty okay to me. So I was really happy doing this kit. I didn't get anywhere involved to where I was like, oh, I just want this to be done. I actually enjoyed the whole entire thing. Now with the head finished, I'm actually enjoying this so far. It's going to be a pretty small sized snowman, but it does state that on the box. So this is his noggin. I'm going to go ahead and put in the safety eyes. I probably shouldn't. I should have just, you know, this is my first kit review. I shouldn't have modified it by adding the eyes in like I did, but it is what it is. Now jumping forward into the video, I have finished crocheting all of the parts to this, and I have discovered a slight inconsistency that kind of bummed me out ever so slightly. So the one thing that really bummed me out was this hat portion. Now I actually did check. I did crochet this right. At least I'm like 90% sure I crocheted this right, but I ran out of blue yarn. So this actually needed 2 more rows and I didn't have enough. This is how much blue yarn I had. Also, it turns out the blue yarn is supposed to be used to create the buttons. The buttons are actually going to be an embroidery style. They're not crochet, they're embroidered on with the blue yarn. The other thing with the hat is it is ridiculously huge for this poor little snowman's head. I really thought I messed up the pattern, but I went back and I checked my work and I actually did everything pretty okay. So the only thing that this kit didn't have enough of was actually the blue yarn. Now the black is supposed to be for the eyes, and I ended up using that for, I used safety eyes instead of that because I like the way that looks better. But overall, everything else turned out really good. I did not have a lot of leftover yarn except for in the color white. White, I had a gob of this yarn left, so not really sure what happened. It could just be this kit. I wouldn't say that all the kits are going to be short blue yarn. Again, I haven't attached that because I'm not really sure where I want to attach this. So, yeah. But the fact that I didn't have enough blue, that's okay. What I ended up doing was I just shorted the hat 2 rows for the brim. It's not the end of the world. It's gonna be fine. But that is kind of annoying that it just didn't have enough. Now, again, not saying that other kits won't have enough blue yarn. It could have just been this kit. It could have been an anomaly. Don't get discouraged by it. Also, another thing that I did not do was it wanted me to embroider some eyebrows on this snowman, and I'm very painfully aware of my skills for embroidery. They don't exist. So instead of destroying his poor little noggin, I opted not to do that as well. So to solve the problem with not having the amount of blue yarn you need in order to make the buttons for embroidery, I'm using some really small safety eyes that I just have. I have a gob of these. And I ended up just using those to be the 3 buttons that the snowman is going to need. It was pretty easy to put in, but again, if this is going to be a gift for a first-time crocheter, this could be a little bit discouraging because the kit will seem like it's unfinished if they do not have these extra things. But again, even if you end up having this issue, there are solutions to the problem. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go across creating projects. Sometimes they're just not done quite right. Again, it's so weird. I really am at least 90% sure I didn't make the hat too big. It was really easy because you just crochet in rows and then connect it. So, and I made sure I didn't do too many rows. I don't know, maybe I can't count. It's possible. But the other thing that I found really enjoyable though was they definitely gave you enough stuffing to end up filling up this guy. You could overfill him if you wanted to, but if you wanted him to sit flat, I wouldn't overfill his bottom part too much. That way you can kind of squish him down and he can end up sitting flat. But sewing him together was really easy. Nothing really too difficult. Assembly was always fun. I love assembling crochet projects because you get to see it come to life. But let's go ahead and jump to the end of the video because this is getting kind of long, and let's see what my final thoughts are. Now, my overall thoughts for this project is I would give it an 8 out of 10. Just mainly because I ran out of blue yarn, but that again just could be for this kit not just getting enough. It's possible. We never know what happens in the manufacturing section of things. So it's doable with what it is. If you have extra safety eyes, or you could have embroidered a different color of yarn on here to do the buttons, there are definitely 100% different options you can do to end up finishing this guy if he ends up being short a little bit of yarn. Now, the one thing I do love about doing crochet kits is the fact that you permanently will always have the pattern that came in this box. So what I ended up doing was I ended up crocheting another snowman using yarn that I have, changed up his colors ever so slightly, and used a bigger crochet hook, so he's definitely going to be a lot larger, but did the same idea of safety eyes as his little coal buttons, gave him some cute little snowflake eyes. I'm not really pleased with my carrot on his nose. I think I should have used a different color, but I used what I had available. Again, this hat is super huge on this guy too, so I think it's just how the hat is made. But yeah, you can see kind of the difference in size, difference way they look, but that is always a great thing about having crochet kits is the pattern is yours. So you can do with it whatever you want. You can change up its colors, you can do different fun things with it. So always keep in mind that the fact that this is kind of the gift that keeps on giving. You're giving a gift as a kit, and you are giving them the gift of a crochet pattern they are always going to have, that they can end up making a whole many more snowmen of themselves. Let me know what you think about the Aldi Snowman Crochet Kit, if you've used it, if you've had any issues with it, and your overall thoughts for the kit. I enjoyed it. I definitely will end up trying some more of Aldi's kits, but let's go ahead and take a final look at the finished products. I will see you all in the next crochet kit review. Bye for now.